Good evening, everybody. It's been a little bit of a hiatus on our end in our terms of our live broadcast, but we're excited to be with you again tonight. My name's Chantal Howard, for those of you that know me, and of course, my amazing co-host, Carrie Donegan. Thanks for being here, Carrie. You have had some remarkable adventures since we were last on live. Last time, I think we did actually get one in from when you were overseas, and then things had to transition a little bit because you were on the move.
Yeah.
What was
So 7 countries later, I'm back in the New York City area and really, really glad to be here.
Wonderful.
And very, very focused on back to school and getting, what I consider to be the beginning of the year started. September for me is the beginning of the year, not January.
Yeah, for sure. We start school tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm a homeschooler, so I've got, I'm navigating basically grades, preschool to 11th grade. So that's pretty much the whole gamut in one. So I've got a lot of different things I'm focusing on, a lot of kids I'm focusing on. And I just love this contrast right here. We have you in New York late, and here I am on the farm in North Idaho, and the sun's still shining. And it just goes to show how universal and how completely all-encompassing this message is. And I want to reach out to our both our educators as well as our parents and our kids in this conversation, because that's the way essential oils are. And we want to help you understand why you can be fascinated with them and kind of tinker around the edges. Getting back to school is a perfect time to begin implementing new habits and lifestyle habits that are going to have some lasting impact. So what are some of your favorite back to school ideas?
So I am excited because I take it from the teacher perspective, because I'm a high school teacher in a regular brick and mortar school. All boys, Catholic. I love that. I get to teach, freshmen through seniors. But I also sent my first child to college this year, so I've had that whole experience. And the thing that I realized that I had to do was I had to educate my son on the way the rest of the world lives. So I've been very privileged to have essential oils in my life for 15 years, which means that both of my kids have been raised without medications for the last 15 years. So I have a 16-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy going off to college. And my son brought what he called his bag of goodies with him to school. It was literally a paper bag where he just threw in all the oils he wanted, all the doTERRA supplements that he wanted. And I knew that using the oils every day, diffusing the oils every day, making it a routine in his life from when he was very young to now, really stuck, because within the first 3 days he called me and he said, "Mom, my RA is sick, what do I use?" And I said, "Well, open up your bag of goodies, and what do you have?" And I said, "Do you have On Guard capsules?" He said, "Yes, I do." So I think he knew what to offer to her, but I think he wanted that, that confirmation from me that he was doing the right thing, because he was sharing, right? He was doing what we teach lots of other moms to do, and he was just doing it naturally because he wanted to help someone in his building. So that was really exciting. And I have to say, as a teacher, my number one thing is getting as many diffusers in as many classrooms as soon as possible, because I know that's going to keep me from getting sick when all these kids from all over come back.
That's a really powerful tip, and I think that there's a lot of freedom that teachers often can utilize in terms of what they put in place in their classrooms, and diffusing in classrooms is a remarkable way to help definitely boost immunity and also influence mood. I had a teacher reach out to me just yesterday. She said, "I need a new diffuser. My diffuser is, I bought a cheap one. I need one that's going to last." And I said, I can hook you up, because she wants to run that diffuser every day. And that should be the way it is, whether it's in the classroom or at home, so that we can have those beneficial elements supporting us. And one thing I'll mention is I found early on in my doTERRA journey that the school year was a perfect time for me to actually invest some time in studying about essential oils. And I launched early on with one of my, I think it was my 7th grader at the time, an intro to chemistry and botany. And we did
Ah,
that with essential oils in mind. And it was so exciting to see her come alive, but obviously behind the scenes, it was really me. I was like, the light bulbs were going off left and right. And it was so special to discover a little bit more about the why behind these powerful chemical constituents that aren't just a placebo, but are going to be predictable in their outcome. And I think that's what's exciting. So as you get back to school, it's time to renew your not just your belief in oils, but your understanding of how to implement them, because it's not just that we think they work, it's that they do work.
absolutely. And to tag on to that, it has to be routinized, right? We have, back to school. I don't know about you, but over the summer, I couldn't get out of my routine. We got out of our routine even doing this webinar, right? So now I'm like, okay, back to the calendar, back to school, back to the routine. There's so much comfort for me anyway in routine.
Yeah.
And I see that when I use my oils every day, I like to use them 3 times a day. Some people use them twice a day. I like to use them multiple ways. I diffuse for different things. Could be calming, could be immunity, but those 2 are big ones in our house. My oil supplements, I love copaiba. So as a teacher and as a mom, right, keeping my brain sharp. That's something I need every day, right? Not just sometimes. So that's always on my LRP. Right. So just getting back to those routines where I know I'm doing the right thing for myself. DDR prime every day, just one, knowing that my immune system's getting a little bit of a boost every day. Simple things that we can do that have long-term lasting effects.
And I'll pull in the testimony of my husband here. He's a theologian. He's been an avid student. He's a smart guy. But he has found the routine of In Tune to be one of his staples, especially when he knows he's going to be investing time in reading or deep thinking or focus. And it's gotten to the point where it's really cute. People meet him at Mass and they go, or at church, and they're like, Father using incense today? And it's like, oh no, we just sat behind Peter. So he emanates In Tune now on a regular basis. He also enjoys balance. So those would be 2 choices, especially if you have fidgety little ones or just struggling with focus in general and just wanting to sharpen your recall, because we attach factual information to aroma. And that can be a really amazing gift for somebody who struggles with just staying focused. So that's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really, really good one. That reminds me of something I learned recently, which is studying with essential oils, especially oils that help focus you, like I said, In Tune, or maybe peppermint, right? Great one for kids, just keep them kind of alert. But then when they take a test, they have to have the oil during the test too, because it actually helps them recall the information they studied, which I thought was so neat. So how do you do that in a brick and mortar setting? Well, if you're diffusing peppermint, how about a peppermint roll-on for your child to take to school?
Yeah.
Right? If you're homeschooled, you have some more flexibility. But you can do this even by giving your child the ability and the instruction on how to self-oil, right? Yeah. We don't self-medicate, but we can self-oil. I always say to my kids, this is fine. You can self-oil.
Yeah. I recently did a blog post about how we tend to self-medicate and the challenges and the temptations to want to lean into things that aren't healthy for us, but that perhaps pacify us. And so again, going back to routine, I love that idea, self-oiling. And those roll-ons are so safe. They're pre-diluted. You can make your own blends. You can just grab them and a little swipe over the back of the neck. The other thing that's nice is they're a little bit perhaps milder than just a straight up peppermint. Right. So they're not going to be offensive to other people around you. They're going to just be the nice little protective bubble, if you will, right around your own little environmental space. And that can be a great tool. And kids love to use those. And I've had a lot of people talk about how teachers are really comfortable with that. Essential oils are so common now. Yeah. Most teachers are really comfortable with essential oils being brought into the classroom.
And you would be surprised. Almost all teachers have either like a room spray or a potpourri or even candles. I've seen
Yeah.
teachers burn candles. Can you imagine in
Ooh.
classrooms? And it's been a great conversation for me to say, you know what? I know you want your room to smell good, or I know you want it to be clean. How about doing something that is not going to add chemical toxicity to the room? How about try something natural? And they're always very, very receptive. Start with your teachers.
Yeah.
You know, people want to get essential oils into the school. Sometimes the administration, although they love essential oils, their hands may be tied. But believe it or not, teachers have a lot of control over their own classroom. And so let them, you know, be part of the domain of their own classroom.
Speaking of
That's so
schools.
awesome. That's probably our cue that it's time to go, right?
I think so. I wanted to just wrap up with a couple of thoughts. So we talked about immunity, we talked about
Yep.
focus, and we've talked about impacting our environment in terms of the classroom setting. And then the last thought that I'd like to leave with is just thinking about the practical elements of life too. The foaming hand wash, the facial routine, the supplements. These are things that can be habitual, easy, and you're going to be utilizing some form of these things anyway. So just be really conscious about bringing those things back into your environment as you start school, and and again, invite your teachers to discover it too. Imagine the foaming hand wash in a Jack and Jill classroom setting, or where that's applicable, how impactful that can be, or cleaning surfaces with On Guard instead of some of those harsher chemicals. I know I've worked with a number of preschools or daycares where they're required by law perhaps to still use bleach, but when there's a preference, they prefer to be able to use the On Guard cleaner because it's so gentle and so appropriate for little ones. So lots to discuss, the whole range
Yeah.
from little people all the way up to our college students, and moms and teachers included. So this is a great topic, great time of year to get back on the bandwagon of oil habits, self-oiling, and we're excited to be along the journey with all of you and supporting you in that. So, all right, Carrie, final thoughts for us as we move forward, and then we will be back live again next week.
Excellent. I can't wait. I'm glad to get back into the routine. It was good to see you, Chantal, and nice to see everybody. We'll see you next week.
Wonderful. Thanks again. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.